The Washington Nationals had DFA'd first baseman Nathaniel Lowe, which was a pretty surprising move, although it was the correct decision.
You are Locked On Nationals, your daily Washington Nationals podcast, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
And thank you all for making Locked On Nationals your first listen every single day, as we are free and available wherever you get your podcasts. And yes, I'm your host of this podcast, Locked On Nationals. My name is Ryan Clary, if you've never tuned in before, and we are part of the Locked On Podcast Network, where it's your team every single day. And later on in today's show, got to talk about the weekend series here with the Phillies in town. A big win last night, including a really good start by Brad Lord. We'll discuss that later on. And in the second segment, Cruz is all the way back. He made a sliding catch in yesterday's game. But what are some expectations moving forward for him? Because he did have some struggles in the first half, but where should we kind of think he should be moving forward? But also the big move for the Washington Nationals. They DFA'd Nathaniel Lowe, and honestly, I think it is the absolute correct decision. But today, before we jump into that, today's episode is brought to you by 5-Hour Energy Transfusion. Go to 5hourenergy.com today and use my promo code LOCKEDONGOLF to receive 20% off your order. Only valid through September 30th. Order transfusion-flavored 5-Hour Energy shots today. And yes, Nathaniel Lowe was DFA'd yesterday. As the Nationals, they had to reinstate Cruz from the injured list. They ended up DFA'ing Nathaniel Lowe, and which was a relatively surprising move. But let me tell you why it was the absolute correct decision. First and foremost, there is no hiding that the Nationals have a logjam right now in the outfield. Best case scenario for me, if I were to create the lineup every day, if I were Miguel Cairo, you can call me Miguel Clary if you want, I would have James Wood in left field, Robert Hassel III in center field, and then Cruz in right field. I'd have Daylen Lyle as my DH, and Josh Bell would be playing over at first base. I would also switch out Daylen Lyle and James Wood with DH a lot of the time. And quite frankly, those four guys in the outfield, Lyle, Cruz, Hassel, and Wood, they're in this rotating spot of DH, in my opinion. That's kind of what I would do. And honestly, if it weren't for DFA'ing Nathaniel Lowe, you'd have to option one of those guys. And the Nationals have, in my opinion, if they were to DFA, or not DFA, let go of any of those guys and drop them down into the minor leagues, that would be a massive, massive issue. A few weeks ago, I was patting Mike DiBartolo on the back saying, he said the quiet part out loud of giving guys opportunities to play, and the young guys specifically. Over the past few days here, I've kind of gone off about this team and kind of gone off the rails at times even. Some people have said I've crashed out, and they're like, listen, we need to see the young guys play. And so that's kind of what I anticipated. I anticipated the Nationals to potentially option Daylen Lile or Robert Hassel to make room for Cruz. But no, they made the correct decision by moving off of Nathaniel Lowe. And right now, if you look at Nathaniel Lowe's numbers, he's batting .216, a .373 slug, a very underwhelming .292 OBP. He has not been getting on base. And really, over the last month and a half, over his past 35 games, he has 3 home runs, and he has a .581 OPS and a .174 batting average. And by the way, awful defense. This was the ultimate correct decision, and I applaud Mike DiBartolo for making this move. It's not an easy decision, by the way, because Nathaniel Lowe, he's not a free agent after this year. Now, the expectation was he would be non-tendered. He was an easy candidate to say, you know what, we're going to cut you loose. We're not going to offer you a deal for next season. Go find a new home. But the Nationals, knowing that they have Cruz coming back 100% healthy, wanting to see their young guys play, they made this decision now, and honestly, it was the correct move. And yesterday, Grant Paulson from 106.7 The Fan, he actually kind of went in and gave some insight on some potential things. Lowe was not the best clubhouse guy for this team. Now, when I say that, and again, this is not my report. This is not a report from Grant. This is just what he has heard through passing. Nathaniel Lowe was not the best clubhouse guy for these young guys on this team. It sounds as if that Nathaniel Lowe was not all in on this rebuild. He has no ties, no connections to DC. He was traded here this past winter. And by the way, it got off to a rocky start when they took him to arbitration and had a court hearing with him. Obviously not the best of ways to start with your new club who says they want you here. It was a bad look for the team. And honestly, kind of put a bad taste in Nathaniel Lowe's mouth to be a Washington National. I understand that. But he was never all in on this rebuild. He probably expected, like a lot of us out there, that the Nationals would not be a potential 100-loss team. He thought, I think, again, a lot of us would, they'd probably have higher chances of being in the wild card race than to be a bottom 3 team in baseball. It just doesn't sound as if he wanted to be here for the long haul, and forget the long haul, probably the short haul as well. DFA'ing him feels like a mutual decision in which Nathaniel Lowe probably wants to go to a contender. He might get picked up. We'll see what happens. But also, he just wasn't the guy to lead this young group here in DC. And that's okay. Because quite frankly, when we first made this move, all I heard about from Nathaniel Lowe was great things. That he's a good defender. He was not a good defender here. He hits for power. He did hit for some power, but there was a lot of inconsistent stretches. And by the way, a lot of those big hits came in garbage time. This was the ultimate correct decision. Again, this is now about the young guys moving forward. This was not a real performance-based thing with Nathaniel Lowe, even though you could easily make the case that he was not cutting it defensively or offensively as well, being the middle of this order. But where this Nationals team did the right thing is, again, by keeping your 4 young guys in the outfield up and playing every single day. Now, here's a little caveat here. Geez. Jacob Young. Please. Miguel Cairo. Mike DeBartolo. We all know Jacob Young is a 4th outfielder. We know that. What we do not know is the future of Robert Hassel III, of Daylen Lyle. Get those guys at bats every single day. A sub 600 OPS, it does not matter how good you are defensively, will not cut it in the major leagues. So now they took the first step correctly, but I will have all my eyes on what they do with this second step. Jacob Young deserves playing time. He is a good defender. He's a great defender. I'll even say that. A Gold Glove caliber defensive center fielder. He's that good out there. But he is so bad offensively right now. He is not getting on base. He's not hitting for power. He's not hitting for average. He's not hitting at all. This is not a major league ready option at this point. We have to give the other guys opportunities because the ceiling of Daylen Lyle and the ceiling of Robert Hassel III are much higher than Jacob Young. Again, we know what he is. This decision by moving off Nathaniel Lowe, it tells me that Mike DeBartolo understands this move. And I hope that he is having a meeting as we sit here right now with Miguel Cairo saying, listen, man, I know Jacob Young is good defensively. I know he helps his pitching staff out. But you know who's also really good defensively in center field? Robert Hassel III, who robbed a home run the other night. You know who's really good offensively, or at least a lot better offensively than Jacob Young? Both Daylen Lyle and Robert Hassel III. So they took the first step correctly by moving off Nathaniel Lowe. We know what he is. He's not part of this future. We knew he was going to be gone by the October month here, coming up in 2 months. Now, for the next month and a half, it is August 15th. You have until September 30th to figure this out. Figure out what you have with Robert Hassel and Daylen Lyle. we know that James Wood is a superstar, and whether he's going to be in left field or a DH or a first baseman down the line, who knows at this time. But if Robert Hassel and with Daylen Lile, we don't know what they will be. They have not had enough consistent opportunities, and now is that time. Jacob Young, this is not against him. I like Jacob Young. He's a good ball player. He is a great defender. But he is a fourth outfielder at best in the major leagues until he can figure out his offense. And we have given him years of opportunities. The time to cut this cord is now. We need to see what we have with those two younger guys who, again, one of them being a second-round pick with Daylen Lyle by the Washington Nationals in 2021, and then the other one, a top 10 pick in all of baseball in 2020's MLB draft with Robert Hassel III. It's time to give these guys opportunities, and I think that they will come. I do feel as if the Nationals will give these guys the opportunities to try to grow, because Mike DeBartolo is fighting for a job at this point. He's got this interim tag. You know, it would look a lot better for him, and to make the case to the learners that if you put Robert Hassel III in the lineup and Daylen Lyle in the lineup every single day for the next month and a half, and if these guys turn out to be something, and that's his decision to move off Nathaniel Lowe and get these guys opportunities every single day, that's a good case to have for himself. So I do think change will come with this. And again, they took the correct decision. They made the right step, by moving off Nathaniel Lowe. But now, my eyes are going to be set on this second step, and that is a big deal for me. What will they do now with Robert Hassel, and what will they do with Daylen Lyle? If it were me, it's an easy decision, and they're playing every single day until those wheels fall off. But Jacob Young, unfortunately, you're going to have to sit the bench for now. If Riley Adams gets on base with a double, guess what? You're going to pinch run, and Drew Millis going to come in, and he's going to catch for the rest of the game. That's your job. It's not a bad job, by the way, and he's pretty good at it. So let's see what they do with this second step for the Washington Nationals. But speaking of second, Dylan Cruz is back for his second stint in the major leagues. And yes, I'm excited about it. And you should be too. We'll discuss his expectations after this. Time to fuel up and turn it up with 5-Hour Energy Transfusion. It brings the bold grape, ginger, and lime flavor of your favorite golf drink, minus the alcohol, into a quick, energizing shot. Whether you're sinking birdies or just making memories with friends, this one's a hole-in-one for your energy game. And let's be honest, some days on the course or even off it, you just need that extra boost to stay sharp and energized. And the other day, I was on the course playing 18 holes. I had my Gameday Hue hat on, but also I had my 5-Hour Energy Transfusion shot, and it brought the bold, great flavor, but also brought the boldness to my golf game as well, because again, it energized me. I could now walk those 18 holes, no problem, and I was excited to do so. And I also hit the shot of my life. Ask my friends, they were witnesses. And golf is all about good times with good people, so do it with 5-Hour Energy Transfusion. And if you go to 5hourenergy.com today, that is the number 5hourenergy.com, you can use my promo code LOCKEDONGolf to receive 20% off your order. The offer is only valid until September 30th on one order and cannot be used with other promotions. The code is not good on subscription orders. Whether you're meeting up with friends or trying to turn 18 holes into 36, get the energizing boost that you need to power through. Order transfusion-flavored 5-Hour Energy shots today. We get back into it with Dylan Cruz making his return to the Major League roster. And honestly, I am very excited for this move today because, again, Dylan Cruz made his kind of what felt like his second debut last night for the Washington Nationals, and there was no secret about it. Let's just be honest. Dylan Cruz really struggled for the first half of this season, but what he did down in AAA, again, we saw some of the power this past weekend. He launched one out of the yard, and then yesterday we saw him make a sliding catch in right field. We see the value in Dylan Cruz. And by the way, while Dylan Cruz numbers weren't great with the Nationals for his first stint here. Again, he batted .218 with a 641 OPS, an 81 OPS plus, or this was my bad. I was reading last year's stats. A 77 OPS plus with a 625 OPS and a 199 batting average on the season. But yesterday, in his first game back since May 20th, nearly 3 months of an injury after his oblique strain, he got a hit in yesterday's game. He stole a base as well, and again, played really stellar defense. I think Dylan Cruz's value might be a lot more than we anticipate. You know, we always raved about Dylan Cruz coming out of the minor league system. Everyone thought he was going to be a superstar, but unfortunately, it has not clicked right away. But I think the underrated part of Dylan Cruz's game is kind of the leadership aspect here. The Nationals really stunk up the joint when he went on the injured list. And we could talk about pitching as well. Pitching has obviously been an awful thing for the Nationals this season. But also having that kind of steady Eddie guy with Dylan Cruz definitely hurt this Nationals lineup. And again, we went into this season thinking if the Nationals were to have success, a big if, CJ Abrams and James Wood, they're going to have to be all-star caliber players. And then also, we're going to have to rely on the rise of Dylan Cruz, and then all the other things fall after that. Dylan Cruz has not been a part of this team since quite literally the middle of May. It's been a long time. I was wearing sweatshirts the last time Dylan Cruz was wearing baseball here in town. So seeing him back in the lineup, what should your expectations be? Well, number one, your expectations should be a little bit lower. Like, again, this is going to take time. And while he has had a lot of time to rehab, he's 100% healthy from what I hear, it's still not going to click overnight. In Dylan Cruz, I think we saw this in yesterday's game. He actually had a really good at-bat last night that he worked a walk in yesterday's game against the Phillies. And listen, Jesus Luzardo, the scouting report was on for Dylan Cruz. He was not giving him any fastballs to hit. That is going to be a key thing for Cruz. He was laying off all of his sweepers. And honestly, I was actually listening to the Phillies broadcast with this yesterday, and they were even discussing, if I'm Dylan Cruz and I can't hit the sweeper, I'm not going to swing at it. And he was not giving it. He was waiting and sitting on his fastball. Now, that is just one at-bat against a very good, disgustingly good pitcher with the Jesus Luzardo. But Dylan Cruz does need to work on this. And this is not something that, again, that he just fixed over the last few months. This is going to be an offseason in which he is going to have to learn how to hit pitches outside of fastballs. Again, the scouting report is out on him. Pitchers know that he is going to hit a fastball in the zone. So guess what? They're not going to give him one. The one fastball that he saw in that at-bat, in which he ultimately did draw a walk, was inside on his hands. That was called a ball, and it was about 6 inches inside, by the way. But right now, my expectations for Cruz is simple as this. Just keep swimming. And when I say keep swimming, put in good at-bats, number one, play good defense, and let's try to hit for some power. In the meantime, work on your flaws. Dylan Cruz is not an idiot. He is a very talented, high baseball IQ kind of player. He has to learn how to hit the off-speed and the breaking pitches. He has not been able to do that really even since before college. This is something that he has struggled with for a long, long time. His offseason priority has to be able to identify the breaking pitches and identify them and hopefully be able to hit them and hit them for some power. So right now, as of August 15th, my expectations are not like sky high for Cruz. I think he's going to be really good defensively in right field, and he should be. He's checked all those boxes so far. But I also want him to really work on his craft and figure out what he can hit at the plate. And when he finds his pitch, he better swing. If it just has to be fastballs for now, so be it. But I do want him to put up some good numbers also. And he may not, because again, he was batting sub 200. Like, that is bad. That is a really really bad number to be had right now, especially for someone who we raved about his hit tool coming out of college. Some people even said it was probably the best hit tool coming out of college in like 10, 20, 30 years. Like, he was a very, very, very good prospect. The expectations for him were extremely high. The pressure on him was extremely high. Maybe that was a little unfair because as we see now, he does have some real serious flaws in his game, and he's going to have to work on it. And I do think he will be able to correct that because, again, this guy is a very high IQ player. So going forward, my expectations for him are pretty limited. I want to see him to try and adjust and kind of make these breaking pitches that he cannot hit and finally be able to hit them. I mean, again, it's not going to be an overnight fix, but also work some counts, get some walks in, don't strike out, put the ball in play, and kind of just be a scrappy player because that's what Dylan Cruz does best. And I think that he can achieve all of those things if he were to fix his breaking pitch issue right now, because it's a real thing. But he's going to have to fix that, and it's not going to happen overnight. But hopefully, we see a new Dylan Cruz. I liked his approach last night. He worked a couple of accounts there, got a hit, stole a base, made a diving catch, and the Nationals ultimately got the win 3-2 in that late seventh inning, thanks to Jose Tena, but also thanks to a Brad Lord start, which I want to talk about after this. Most people can't name all their financial accounts or even what they're worth, whether it's 401ks, properties, or investments. And when you don't have the full picture, you can end up leaving money on the table. And that's why there is Monarch Money. It's an all-in-one personal finance tool that brings your entire financial life together in one clean, easy-to-use interface on your laptop or your phone. And Monarch does the heavy lifting for you. You can link all your accounts in minutes and see clear data visuals, get smart categorization of your spending, and finally feel in control of your money. And I linked all my accounts to Monarch and immediately spotted a few subscriptions that I wasn't even using. Canceling those alone saved me money every month. And Monarch also made it simple to review my finances with my partner so we can both see budgets, goals, and spending activity all in one place. So don't let financial opportunity slip through the cracks and use my promo code LOCKEDONMLB at monarchmoney.com in your browser for half off your first year. That's 50% off your first year at monarchmoney.com with code LOCKEDONMLB. Again, that is code LOCKEDONMLB. And thank you all for making Locked On Nationals your first listen every single day, as we are free and available wherever you get your podcast. So the Nationals were just one of 7 games yesterday, and Brad Lord, what a performance by this kid. I mean, again, what was he, an 18th round pick at a USF? The expectations were low. And by the way, before we kind of get into Brad Lord here, actually, no, let's save that for a little bit. Excuse me. But Brad Lord so far, incredible, incredible achievement for him. Again, 18th round pick in 2022. The expectations for him were wildly low. And in 40 appearances so far, with 11 starts and 91 innings pitched, he has been one of the Nationals' best pitchers all season long. The numbers back it up, and not even just the numbers, the things that he has done. This guy does not have the best stuff at all. He does not have the swing and miss stuff. He is not going to strike out 200 people a season. But what he is going to do, he's here to make your best hitters ground out and make them not have the hardest contact. Brad Lord might, I mean, again, outside of Mackenzie Gore, how is he not your second best pitcher today? How? You cannot make that case at this point. And if you look at his baseball savant at this point, again, like his fastball velocity is in the 60th percentile. His average exit velo is in the 90th percentile, meaning that guys are getting soft contact off him. And his ground ball percentage is in the 87th percentile. His barrel percentage is in the 92nd percentile. He is doing this throwing majority of fastballs, by the way, a 52% of the time throwing a fastball that's 95 miles per hour. That is the average for Major League Baseball at this point for right-handed pitchers. And he throws a slider 19% of the time and a sinker 17% of the time and a changeup 12% of the time. A nice 4-pitch mix. And again, he's not striking out people. He's walking people at an average rate at this point. He's not getting a bunch of swings and misses, but he's getting guys out the old way, the way that Dad did it, getting ground balls and ground outs. And again, the Nationals don't even have that good of a defense. Yet, with guys putting the ball in play, striking out only 3 batters in 6 innings, he's still getting the job done. I have a crush on Brad Lord. I'm just not going to lie right now. I was wrong about him. I was like, maybe this guy will be a reliever, but the Nationals don't really stub their toe into stuff like this. But they may have with this kid. I mean, it's beyond a point of which, oh, he's just lucky. He's not just lucky. He's a good pitcher. And maybe it is a bullpen guy long-term, but right now, he's getting it done as a starter. And over the last month or two, he has been the best starter for the Washington Nationals. It's very similar to what DJ Hurst was doing last year, except the only difference is DJ Hurst definitely has the strikeout stuff that Brad Lord does not have. But here we are. Brad Lord is getting it done. So kudos to him. I love him. I love Brad Lord. You should love Brad Lord too. But what I was going to say is Chino, first major league win. He comes in going up against a possible MVP with Kyle Schwarber. And you know what? Like, the bits are out there. Chino throws an 89 mile per hour fastball. But I see him coming in to face Kyle Schwarber. I'm like, oh my gosh. He just doubled before that bat going up against Brad Lord. Crushed the baseball, by the way, and that made it 2-1 in the top of the 5th. And Kyle Schwarber is just a monster. Trey Turner scored there again, 2 former Nationals, and then we have Shin against Kyle Schwarber. I was like, oh my gosh, he struck him out to end the inning. First major league win. Shout out to Shin. That's awesome to see him get that win and strike out Brad Lord there. But the Nationals do have a weekend series here, and again, the Phillies are still in town, and tonight you've got Zach Wheeler going up against Mackenzie Gore. I believe this was the opening day matchup, by the way. And last time this happened, Mackenzie Gore went 7 scoreless and struck out 13 Philadelphia Phillies batters. So hopefully we can see that again tonight against the Phillies. Then tomorrow night, a pretty good matchup as well. Taijuan Walker against Cade Cavalli. Walker was, a really tough subject for a lot of Phillies fans last year, but he has totally turned around his season. And Cade Cavalli, again, making his 3rd start of the season, just his 3rd start in the big since 2022, coming off Tommy John surgery, rehabbing all season long, fastball touching 98, 99 to 100. Cade Cavalli, hopefully we can see what he does against a really potent Phillies offense. That's going to be a must watch by the Washington Nationals. And then on Sunday, hopefully the Nationals can potentially get a series sweep. You have got our guy, your guy, everyone's guy, Mitchell Parker, going up against whoever faces the Washington Nationals. So the Phillies have yet to decide who that will be on Sunday's start. But you guys get to enjoy Nationals baseball all weekend. And yes, you get to enjoy not just James Wood, not just Dylan Cruz, but also Daylen, Lyle, and Robert Hassel III. We'll see what this lineup looks like tonight. Josh Bell will be your first baseman moving forward after DFA'ing Nathaniel Lowe. And it's going to be an interesting one to watch with this Washington Nationals team. But until then, you guys enjoy tonight's pitching matchup. Zach Wheeler against Mackenzie Gore. You don't get many more of these in 2024, so take advantage of a good matchup tonight. I will catch you guys on the flip side. Have a good one. Go Nats.